exactly what it is that you guys kind of are looking for. I want to start by talking a little bit. What originated this conversation was the film, the call about how we can help assist getting permitting. Permitting is a pain. I mean, it's a pain whether you're like updating your bathroom, you have to get a building permit. Having to go through all the red tape to get done what you need to get done is difficult, and it's a lengthy process. And I wish I had an answer that I could tell you to be like, you know what, you're going to go here, here, and here, and you're going to get exactly what you need. Unfortunately, those aren't the answers that I have for you today, but I hope to have a little bit of insight to kind of help you. And since this was brought to our attention, we as a group are looking to put something together to help make that happen. So in Lake County, I know more about Lake County than Porter County because that's where I'm from. So previous to this role, I was the event director for the city of Hobart, and I did a lot of work in the mayor's office. We had a company come to us, New Black Entertainment. It is a group, they're fabulous. They're putting together a crime documentary series, and they wanted to use some of our locations in Hobart to film. Well, in Hobart, we don't have like a film department. We don't have like, it's a rare request. We don't have a lot of that. So we're like, okay, like how do we get this done? How do we get them to where they need to do? So they needed some staging vehicles. They needed a police car. They needed an ambulance. They were going to pull like a body out of Lake George. It was going to be like super cool. So I'm like, okay, we need the police department here. We need the fire department here. They needed an old house to film. It was like a drug house or something. They needed this old house. So the city, I was like, our sanitary department has an old house that nobody's using that would be like perfect for it. So maybe we can get that. So I went to the sanitary board and I was like, hey guys, like this house is just sitting here. We have this cool opportunity. Are you okay if they use that house? That worked out for them. Police department was on board. They really liked the crew. They were able to use their vehicles to stage. And then they wanted more. They're like, we need like an office space. We need like a living room of a family's home. So I called some of my friends. I'm like, hey, like they need this living room. They needed an office space. I called Pam Writing State Farm, downtown Hobart, who's fabulous to work with, and got them permissions to work in their office. So we made it happen there, but that process is not a set in stone process for each municipality. If you guys have worked in the area, you probably know that. You've probably experienced it. Most cities don't have something that's set up. It's gonna be like your lucky day if you talk to the right person. I was super into it. I was like, this is so cool. This is our city. Like, what can we do to help them? But if they would have got somebody else on the phone that day, like they might not have you know what I mean? They might not have got as far along in their process because we don't have policies and procedures in place to facilitate that type of thing. So, that being said, our staff here, I talked to them a little bit about the permitting, because I know that's like one of the main things that is like, I mean, you have to have that permitting to get done anything you want to do. In order to get that, it's just such a difficult process. So what we are going to try to do, so we are going to be currently meeting, we have a new CEO, which is really exciting here, and we're going to be taking the next few months, and we're meeting with each municipality in Lake County, amongst other things, talking like what can we do for you, like what they can do for us, all of those things. And so as a result of this, part of that conversation is going to be with each of those people, what if somebody wants to film? We're working with some filmmakers. What is your permitting process if your community is chosen as a site for a film to be produced? And most of them are like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that, right? But our hope is that at that point, they will point us in the right direction. So if you want to go to Crown Point, Maryland is going to be like, you know what, Crown Point's fabulous, you need to go to our planning department, and then you need to go here, and then you need to go there. And that process may change. It's probably going to be different in each city that you go to. Maryville is going to be different than Hobart, which is going to be different than Crown Point. But our goal, and I don't know if it'll come to fruition, I don't know if they'll give us the information, I don't know if they even have the information. But what we're going to try to do is get a one-pager together. It's going to take some time because we're doing this as we meet with them with other things. Hopefully at the end of it, we have a nice little like one-pager that's going to be broken down with all of the cities in Lake County, and you'll have some sort of idea of who you need to go talk to when you need to get something done. Technically, it starts with the mayor's office. I would say the mayor's typically not taking meetings, but he'll have his proxy or his chief of staff or somebody. Because people don't have this in place as part of their policy and procedure, you're just going to start from the top. Mayor's going to be like, yes, that's fantastic, or mayor might be like, no, we don't have room for that in our city right now. So it's kind of a good rule of thumb to kind of go to the top and then work your way down. But that's something that we didn't really do. I don't know, I think at one time what you saw on our website was when we had Johnny Depp for the Dillinger movie. That was like a huge thing in Crown Point. We played a big role in that. And I think that was an old might have been an old page left over from that, but I'm glad that you saw it, and I'm glad that it started, this conversation. Yes?
I was going to say, so we are a statewide non-for-profit, and I have resource guides for that. We're actually helping southern Indiana through Evansville to do this as
Oh,
well.
that's fantastic.
And we worked with Gary to do their Gary structure like years ago.
Yes.
COVID ruined a lot of these, so
Yeah.
you guys are, whatever.
Gary's a good one to work with
Gary's
because New Buck Entertainment, they got rights in Gary as well. I think Gary and Hobart were the two that they got rights in.
And I hooked them up with SAG-AFTRA Chicago because Kathy and everything that was going on for the New Black, because they're part of IFN as well. They don't come to a lot
Oh,
of things.
so you know the group.
I know who they are, yeah. I
Okay.
reached out to them and helped them out with some stuff too.
Cool.
And a couple of our members were in that film, or in those films.
They like let my daughter hang out for the entire weekend on set and like help them, and it like really sparked a love for film. She thought it was like absolutely like so cool.
So if there's anything that we can do to help you with anything that you like, some of our resource stuff is old too.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to correlate on that so that anything that's new, we are also representing that new. Because we're also, we used to run all the resource guides through Film Indiana, which
Okay.
was tourism, and now IEDC took it over.
Yep.
And
We work very closely kind of with them.
I hope so, because they literally took our resource guides and don't credit us. So,
Well, okay.
yeah. Well, because I think that there was just a sticky wicket of knowing who owns what at one
Sure.
time, because since they took over. I don't think it's anything malicious, I think it's just
Just when, yeah.
too many cooks in the kitchen.
No, I
And so,
definitely
like,
hear that.
we're doing a focus on not just tourism, but we did cinematic tourism for years through Film Indiana and Visit Indiana, or Visit Indy.
Okay.
So I would love to do something like that up here, because I work in
Absolutely.
Lafayette with Joe down there at Visit Lafayette with
Okay,
Lafayette
yeah.
and stuff, and we're gonna be doing that all next week. And so, yeah, I would love to work with you on anything that you need for like, we do have some old contracts and stuff that you guys used to offer for like certain areas up here.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, they're old,
There,
but they
yeah.
might be relevant to help you build new ones.
I think that would be very helpful. So after this, let's talk, because I'm only going this with the experience I have working when I was with the city of Hobart, and I had to just figure out the process, and I just kind of made up the process. I'm like, you need police, you need fire, you need this person, how do we make it
So
happen?
my recommendations for up here would be, for like anything like planning, I don't know the same people because things have changed. You know,
Sure.
But Gary's awesome, they had infrastructure, they built their own because they had to take over the surplus of what was coming out of Chicago.
Yeah,
And they have a lot of different things hiding away up in.
they have a new administration in the city of Gary now, a new mayor was elected in, he's doing some big stuff. He is a really great, the greater Gary is like the big vision, so great things coming out of that community for sure.
And if Indiana, I'm not knocking Indiana because I represent the state,
Sure,
but if Indiana, you know, since you're right here in Chicago, you're in Chicagoland, we're right off there. There's a wonderful group of, multiple different groups of people that can help you, like the SAG-AFTRA Writers Guild,
Yeah.
things like that might be able to help you with what permits they do in their area, that you might also be able to correlate here.
and that would be the thing, I mean, ultimate goal would be like a uniform permitting process, which, you know, would be absolutely fabulous, but you know kind of what it takes to get there, right?
We tried to push that for the state for years,
Yeah.
for like 6 years, because my thing was, since the state itself wasn't doing it,
Right,
we didn't have a film, we were founded by the film commission. We don't have a commission that really does that blanket thing. So my argument was that working with travel or tourism and the visit program, you know,
Sure.
they already do a lot of that stuff.
Right.
Sometimes it's city councils, and it sparks us all over the place. So if we could do a one-stop shop in different regions, I've talked to South Bend over the years. Everybody wanted to do something, but it never.
come to fruition, right.
And
It's like
they're
on the
doing
list,
it,
that's what we were talking, it's like those things that are like on the list, and they're great, but it's like, okay, like, how far down are they on the list?
But
You know what I mean?
Here's the one, up here, it always boggled my mind, since you are so close to Chicago, you can pull
Right.
from what's already going on up there. Other places like, that are a little farther away into Indiana, I get it. That's not like Evansville, they're pulling in from like Louisville,
Sure,
and films that are going on in Kentucky, because they have a great film program. So it's like, I get it when you're really close.
right.
If you're out in the boonies or something like, you know, even like Lafayette, you know,
No, I think it's definitely needed. I mean, like I said, permitting just in general, like even, I mean, going to the building department, if you want to put a deck on your house, like my dad's gonna put it in, he's gonna have his friends over, they're gonna give him a case of beer, they're gonna eat, we're gonna grill, they're gonna put a deck in. But they want like a artist render, you know what I mean? It's like the whole thing. So permitting just in general, a ton of red tape, and we're hoping to start to just eliminate some of that or learn how to work better with that red tape. So that's one of the primary things, after speaking to your group, that we are going to be focused on. Some other things that we do offer, just as a tourism bureau that might benefit your group, we talked a little bit about housing early on, and so if you do have people coming in, we house people. Like I said, we are a full-service DMO. So we have a housing manager, that's what her job is. We bring big conventions into the area, we bring sporting events. We just had in July, I think it was 214 girls softball teams here from all across the Midwest that we house. So if you have a film crew coming in, or you have actors coming in, or whatever it is, you can contact us, and we're happy to put a little room link together for you. What community are you going to be staying in? We contact the hotels for you. We get a room block. We get a reduced rate, a better rate. They're still not completely reduced, but we get a little bit better of a group rate. And then we manage that for you. We would send you the link. You can send it to everybody that you're working with. All you have to do is click on this link, and everything's taken care of. So housing is something we can definitely help with. And of course, we always want to sell our area. I can have little welcome bags for you guys. So when you are bringing in people in, we'll provide them, the hospitality, like let them know what else is in the area. Primary focus is going to be the permitting, but I did want to open it up. I know I talk fast and loud and a lot. But I wanted to open up for like specific questions that you think that we may be able to help you with, or something else that you would like me to kind of speak on. I am new to this world. Like I said, I wanted to give you a little bit about tourism, but I don't want to bore you with all of our marketing stuff, show you one of the videos that we did, but I'm really not concerned, but curious on what each of you would like to get out of this and what you would like to see moving forward.
So I just want to start by saying, Nikki, there wasn't any time for formal introductions, but Nikki Lopez, this is Nathan, our president for the statewide organization. That's why he knows so much information.
That's great information.
I'm doing way too well.
He came from down south. The phone call that Nikki was referring to was my phone call. I called her. I said, hey, listen, I see this on your website. She's like, I don't know, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we'll have to, I said, well, let's get this done then. We're going to get it done. So we started talking about certain ideas, and this is fairly new, as she had mentioned. New ideas, it's new to the area as well.
Yeah.
Well, besides the Gary thing over there. So this is your time to kind of like, share whatever you have to share, and give her information and insight on how to move forward with this type of thing here in Indiana.
Yeah,
And now Northwest
the
Indiana.
more information that we get as a group, because this is not that it's not a function of what we can do, it's not something that we are currently doing. Our current focus is bringing visitors and travelers in and staying in hotels and eating in our restaurants and promoting economic development. And this is definitely a part of that, and it has a home somewhere. I just want to know a little bit more about, what is the need? Do you want a space for meetings? Do you want, do you want to screen movies in here? Do you want to, us to help you get, what is it that you guys want the most help with? Yes?
Just first of all, thank you for everything you're thinking about for filmmakers in the area. I definitely think this space especially is really valuable for screening films. Because it's a whole beast to make a film, but then what do you do with it afterwards?
Right.
So to get it out to the community and maybe add another event to your calendar then, to have a local screening from a local filmmaker, I think would be really helpful.
Absolutely, and those are always the types of things that we are looking to do in this space. I think we did, if I mentioned it to you guys or just before, was Walkable Hammond. They did a documentary with, I think, I forget who their partner was, but we hosted them here, and it was great. I think we had over 75 people, which is a ton for Walkable Hammond. Not that the Walkable Hammond documentary was nothing short of amazing, it was fabulous, but you guys, unless it's shiny and fabulous and you're dangling it in someone's face, they're usually just kind of not interested. It's oh, documentary on walking in Hammond, cool, but the amount of support that we got for that, what a fantastic film it was. I mean, that was recently, I would say within the last 4 months we did that, and it really showed us that there is a want for that from the community to come out and see these types of things too, so.
Nikki, another question for you. So we are one of the hubs of many hubs throughout the state of Indiana for the state organization. So on September the 21st, we have our second and final entertainment industry speaker series at the OBE Studios in Maryville.
Okay.
by any chance, are you available to attend our event and see how that works?
Yeah.
It's on a Saturday.
Let me look right now, that date sounds.
It's on September the 21st. And, you know, we can,
Yeah, I
we
can send you the
apply here.
information.
It's on September the 21st from 1 to 4 at the OBE Studios, which may just be the only major film studio in Northwest Indiana. So our featured speakers, Oliver William Stanton, he's a filmmaker and a whole much more, and he is from the region here. So
Okay.
he's gonna be our speaker. Rosie Suggs, longtime radio host of WJLB, she's gonna be our MC.
Yeah.
So if you're available, we would love to have you there so you can see how that works. And when you mentioned about film screenings and so forth, we have a lot of ideas, myself and Martin and our committee, but, you know, we just gotta take one day at a time, one project at a time.
Yeah.
But to be able to use this, so, and you know, today is a meetup, so to speak. So we have our meetups every other month, more or less, from 6 to 8 o'clock. We have it in different locations when we have it in person. Sometimes we may have our meetup by way of Zoom. Sometimes we have a guest speaker, sometimes we don't, but this would be a great opportunity to have future meetups here, to maybe have a film screening here, and then, I guess you have a facility to possible rent to, maybe we have something bigger later on.
Yeah,
No,
after I can
so-
show you too. And I would like to do that, I have to double check, that is my daughter's homecoming night, so I'm not sure that I can do that. Yeah, it's a big deal,
Yeah.
senior homecoming, but we could try to, yes.
How much to rent this theater?
This theater, I have to look, I sent the contract over and said, if you guys are a nonprofit, so that's it. So we are a government agency. In order to keep the building open for after-hours event like this, we do have to charge just because we have to staff it and there are costs associated with that. But if you are a not-for-profit group, all of the rates are like slashed right in half. Can I tell you after the price? I wanna say it's 200, 300. I don't remember.
Dollars?
I don't, no, that's the full price.
For how many hours?
Let me pull it up. I have it in my email.
It's actually a really big deal.
That is.
It is, yeah.
Because
I
Mark and
sent
I
you
were
the
talking about that.
contract, didn't I?
I,
And that's one thing I definitely want to talk to you about, because we do resources for different people, for different regions, and something we might be able to offer our members at a rate differently.
I will say we talked about 300, and then we
I
were
have
gonna
it right here.
slash that
Just,
to show, nonprofit certification was gonna be 150.
150, so it's half of that 300. See, he remembers. 'cause
Yeah,
so
see,
that's
I-
probably you guys are gonna be paying, so you gotta know that cost.
So that's pretty good, and this
But,
is,
yeah, so I will, I can send a copy of the rental agreement to all of you so you can see what that looks like. But if you are a nonprofit, we always wanna work, we work a lot with our chambers, our economic development partners, anybody, and so we offer half off all of our rates for anybody who falls into that category. So, and that goes for this, theater as well as, the exhibit hall as well, so. And, you know, and there are other forms of partnership too. I mean, we do have to
Yeah.
get the rental, but as this kind of flourishes and moves forward, if there's a screening that we can partner on, that we think we can offer as an event to the public and get people here, like in those types, we can talk, you know, we can talk when it comes to that type of
Like I was,
thing.
yeah, like I was gonna say, is that if, let's say IFN would be the sponsored non-for-profit,
Right,
to help get that space, and then we can work that way as like a fiscal sponsor or something like that.
exactly.
I'd love to do that, 'cause we've
Yeah.
done that with other places, and it's always been fairly lucrative. It's hard, you know, it's even hard when you have the space anyways for your community. But,
Yeah.
for the film community in particular, this is awesome, yeah, great.
It's
It-
a great space, and we have
it
done
is.
like the screenings, like I mentioned, and I don't remember, so it wasn't Yellowstone, it was a spin-off of Yellowstone, like 1892, we talked a little bit before.
yes,
about
we
it.
did, but I don't,
So,
I only know about
however,
Yellowstone.
So there's a female actress, and you have to forgive me, because I don't remember who she is.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I only know about
she was a female
Yellowstone.
actress, and she was in one of the Yellowstone spin-offs, that 1982 or whatever. She's from the region, so they did like a little private showing here with her. So there has been things that have been done here. We work very closely, if you saw the lake lamp when you come in, with A Christmas Story. Hammond is home of The Christmas Story. If you guys do not know that, it was written here. Gene Shepard, who wrote it, lived in Hammond on Homan Avenue, so we have a really good relationship with the cast of The Christmas Story. When it comes to film, we have the entire cast out here. Last year, we have a couple more cast members coming. This year, we think we're gonna do another little mini signing, so we do dabble in film kind of like here and there, but nothing of this magnitude and nothing kind of like this currently, so, this will be new for us as well.
We'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah,
If I could say this here, by you being in the position that you are for this facility here, and the fact that when it comes to not Northwest Indiana, but when it comes to the state of Indiana compared to Chicago, just in the film industry, you know, we're miles and miles away behind from what they've done and what we're hoping to do at some point down the road. So hopefully by having a partnership with IFN and your organization, we can help to build and bring more films into Northwest Indiana and beyond, and not only help the organization grow, but help your facility grow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, a question about like the group itself. Are you guys kind of all independent filmmakers who create your own content and own films in the look, or do you work together as a group for one overall goal or film, or how do y'all work? Like,
A little
How
bit
do
of
you
both,
guys-
a little bit of
Okay.
both. Independent, but they, you know, we're available to work with the independent filmmakers that are here.
okay,
Like Nathan said, we'd be like the fiscal sponsor
okay,
to, for the nonprofit aspect of,
okay,
you know,
So
working with
as the
them.
Northwest Indiana hub, we're one of several hubs throughout the state. Just like Nathan, who is the president of the organization, he has his own hub and he came from Lafayette, Indiana today, so we want to thank
pretty
him for
impressive. That's a
coming.
drive. I'm joking.
So this is
65
our
to
project for Indiana Filmmakers NWI. So we're working on our projects with our committee. Each hub does their thing, so to speak, based upon what their hubs want to do and so forth and so on.
Okay.
So this is our project, and this is something, you know, one of the things of many things that we want to do.
Okay, no, that
So
makes sense.
We've used to do hub challenges and encourage like the hubs to kind of all work together.
Yeah.
It can be problematic because it's more responsibility for the hub leaders to kind of do that on top
Sure.
of like monthly meetings. So Indiana Filmmakers Network, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary.
Congratulations,
Thank you
that's
very much. We were co-founded by the Film Commission back in the 90s and had a couple events and stuff. And I joined the board in 2009. Well, maybe a little earlier than that technically, I guess. But, and then in 2015, 2016, took over the nonprofit. We were already statewide, but we wanted to make sure we were doing it more legit.
Sure.
So up until COVID, we were doing it great. COVID really kicked our butt. So we lost a lot of people who passed.
We
Yeah.
talked about that a little
A lot of
We
energy
did.
got sucked out of us.
Well, even
Um,
after COVID, like, getting the ball rolling again, what we were saying, like, well, we were the tourism industry, attractions, I mean, our whole industry, hospitality got like shut down, right? And it's like, COVID's been, you know, for a while, but it's like getting that ball rolling back again, but not only that, is it looks completely different than it did pre-COVID, right? Like, what you have to do, it's just different now. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're getting the ball rolling, but we're also learning new things in a post-COVID world on how to do things, right? So there's
Yeah.
a couple different, you know, challenges there with
Yeah.
that.
It's weird how in Indiana, I mean, we're all pocketed and we're doing clicks, and so we were we were accredited with a certificate from SAG-AFTRA a couple years ago as one of the largest cinematic arts networks or collectives in the Midwest.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive.
It means it's a cohesive network, is what that means. I was actually paid to go to Ohio to talk about what we're doing correct and keeping things in a one central network.
Sure.
You know, so even though we have partners, we might not be doing what the Mid-American filmmakers are doing in South Bend, we still work directly with
Yeah.
them, and we can call it, you know, and that has been my goal since I took over on a whole bunch of things, is that we are, everything kind of works together. So whatever's going on in the region, we can give it a voice across the state too. That's why working with tourism and Film Indiana was always my bag.
Yeah.
I said, like, you know, when we talk about like film in Indiana, what do you think about it? You think Hoosiers and Rudy.
Totally.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
Public
There's a
Enemies,
lot
Public
more.
Enemies was one thing.
And Public Enemies.
Yeah,
And
right?
there's a lot more. I was in Public Enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's a lot more. So I was trying to get a push for cinematic tourism
Mhm.
to like showcase those spots that you could actually see on a map and
Sure.
go to those places through Film Indiana and stuff. It was always like pulling teeth. It's just very difficult. Each region's always kind of fun and different to work with. So going forward, that's my question actually too. Is how far do you represent
Lake County.
this? Just Lake
County.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a government entity, kind of like a quasi-government. We are funded by innkeeper tax.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From Lake County, so that's how our organization is funded. So when you go in a hotel and all those extra, like it says your room's $90 a night and it ends up being like $140 a night or whatever that is, like all of those extra fees that comes to us, our organization, and then we actually distribute that back to each municipality in the form of a check, dependent on what their population is, their size, so there's a little formula that goes into that, and so that money we get, we use to attract tourism, obviously, to the region. It builds our budget. We have other streams of revenue when it comes to rentals and things as well. That is our primary source of how we are funded, and then we infiltrate that money back into the communities. And then the communities have an obligation, once they get that innkeeper tax money, to spend it on something that is tourism related. It could be to market their city, it could be to build a new website, to bring people into their community, it could be to put on a new event. We don't want them buying, toilet paper for the bathrooms, or, like using it to update the paint on the wall. Like, we want it to be used for something that's gonna help bring people here and help market who they are. So that's kind of our funding mechanism and how we get money. It all comes from Lake County. So we do have other partners that go across the county lines. We are a region. Regionalism is really important, and working together with our other counties. We have great partnerships with Indiana News Tourism. They're the CVB for Porter County. We have Elkhart County. We have all, but our primary focus is actually Lake County. That's how we're funded, and those are the people who are served. We are governed by a board of directors. Our board of directors is made up from appointees from each municipality. So we have, like, the mayor of Hobart appoints somebody to our board, the county council, the county commissioners, the mayor of Hammond, the council of Hammond. So each municipality gets to choose a representative. They have to be somewhat involved in the tourism industry. They have to meet this list of criteria, so they have some knowledge, and that is our board of directors, and that's who governs this agency in particular, and how we're funded, so.
Anything else for Nikki? Question, comment?
What are you guys working on right now? Like, who's working on something cool? Like, I wanna hear some.
So
cool
I don't know,
stuff.
I came in late too, so I don't know. Did you guys go around the room and say who you are? What do you
No,
do?
we didn't get it, no, we
Let's
didn't.
do that.
Yeah, let's do that, go ahead.
That's one of my mandatory things, and
Yeah.
it's hard to do in these situations anyways. But my favorite part of doing IFNs is, because IFN is about here, not knowing
Yeah.
who's our guests,
Yeah,
but it's really about the people who show up.
absolutely.
And so it's always nice to know what projects people are working on,
Yeah.
who they are, and that way the guest speaker kind of knows what's in the room.
Right.
If there's an animator over here, or if there's a voice actor or whatever, then they know. And then it's always nice that for networking purposes afterwards, hey, that person liked that, I can talk to them later.
You know,
So,
let me say this about me, make sure that everyone has signed in, with your name, phone number, hopefully an email, and hopefully
you pass
can
around
be
it.
able to read your email.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Unfortunately, there were times when I took the sign-in sheets home, and I couldn't make out the email lettering, so please be legible.
Use your best penmanship.
So who would like to start out, in terms of, if you're working on a current project and you wanna give your current project a quick, promo, get up, please your name, where are you from, and let's hear a little about your
Let's
project.
start-
Who would like to
with
start?
Who could,
Front row and work our
Okay,
way back.
who would like to
if
start?
you're comfortable standing
We'll
up.
start in the front row and work our way back.
Sounds good.
Booty cheers are low.
Hey, please.
They're low, low to the ground.
My name is Louis Warren. I'm mostly into writing,
Okay.
novels and books.
Oh, I love to read. It's good to know.
He currently has a published book.
Oh, what's your published book?
I'm self-published on Amazon. It's, the current one is War of the Amazon.
Okay. I'll put that in my phone. Very cool.
It is your name, right?
Yes, you did.
And are you local to the area here? Most pretty much everybody that's in the
Yes.
Northwest County Region chapter. East Chicago, all right, that's great. We were just talking before you guys came in, East Chicago and their fabulous landscaping and flower pots they have, literally right before you came. Do a great job.
So Millie,
Please.
I know you're taking a class, can you please get up por favor? And tell us a little about the class you signed up for after joining and being a very valued member of this committee, what you did in terms of following up and taking a class at Purdue. So can you please where? Oh, I'm sorry, IU. I'm sorry, William works at IU. Please stand up. Tell us a little bit about the class you joined, what the class is all about.
She doesn't want to stand up.
Okay, it would help if you. Thank you.
Great.
I'm taking a class at IU, and it's on filmmaking, and the reason I took the class is because of our organization. I wanted to know a little bit more about it, but I didn't realize that, and it's for seniors and it's free at IU. Plus, they're also offering other courses that are free for seniors. So But, I thought it was just gonna be, you know, a course on filmmaking, like graphics and things like that, script, you know, script writing and things like that. No, they actually want the students to make a short film, and, they have to make a big poster, and they're gonna make it like life size, like, I don't know how, but it's a tall
That's awesome.
poster that you have to make. And then you get to pick what you wanna make the film about. Like, we have some people that are doing documentaries, sci-fi. I missed the class when everybody was discussing their film, because I've had some illness in the family, so I'm kinda real far behind, so. But it's a very interesting class, and if anybody is interested in any of that, and it's free, it's at IU for seniors. If you know any seniors, you could pass it with. 'Cause it's an
Can you
excellent
share
class,
that
and the
information with
instructor
Mark
is
and
excellent.
Juan, and we'll share that on our network?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, I'd love that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great resource.
Thank you, Millie.
Thank you, Millie. Young lady,
Appreciate
you
it.
have anything to share with us?
Yes, I do. My name is Marjorie Peterson, and I was chosen as a fellow for this year's Gary International Black Film Festival.
Great.
Thank you. And I just finished my project. It's turned in, so it'll be showing next month, the 10th through the 13th. I think it's that Saturday. It'll be showing that Saturday. So I'm also working on a short, and you know what they say about Murphy's Law? Well, he showed up. And he stayed
Oh, no.
at the little short film that I'm trying to do. So it's like, but anyway, I'm learning so much, even with all of the craziness. I'm just learning so much about filmmaking. So, and I this information that you're giving out, you know, I called Indiana, the film festival, the Indiana Film, but they never got back. But I was like feeling kind of guilty about kind of going to Chicago. That was like,
Yep.
you know, I'm Indiana, and I shouldn't be going to Chicago.
No.
But
Don't get it back.
but
I
if
will get it.
but if I'm not getting anything in Indiana, then that's maybe what I'll have to do.
But hopefully. it's
Exactly.
a resource
Yeah, I'm
for
trying to be loyal to Indiana, but you know.
No,
But
it's-
anyway.
I can talk about that for hours.
Yeah. But anyway,
Okay.
so thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
then we're gonna skip you, okay? No disrespect.
Exactly.
Okay?
Thank you for mentioning that, because that's exactly what we were talking about in our conversation, that
Yeah.
we shouldn't have to go to Chicago. They
Yeah.
need to come to us,
Yeah.
and that's what we want to do here.
Anything on this row right here? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Carmen Vincent. I'm a local documentary filmmaker and video editor, and one of my films, Teacher Patience, which is a documentary about a Northwest Indiana paramedic and his daughter with Down syndrome, and the disability advocacy work they do. That won an Emmy last year, also premiered at Oscar qualifying Indie Short Film Festival, and has been in over 20 festivals around the world. So that's definitely something I would be interested in talking about, potentially screening and inviting some disability nonprofits in for a panel potentially. But I'm really interested in exploring themes of like marginalized communities with my work. I'm from the disability community myself, and yeah, I probably went to BU for digital media, and I've kind of self-taught film myself. So
Yeah, I'd love to talk more after,
Okay.
to touch up with that. That sounds great.
great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
William? Anything?
You have to. I gotta learn who you guys
I'm
all
William
are.
Goodell, I'm a member of the committee. I did some background acting in film, and I sing in the Northwest Indiana Symphony Chorus, and but I've gone, since COVID, I switched over to writing, and so I'm working on my own story right now about my great-grandfather, since I'm into genealogy, and so I love just digging into family stories and pulling that and finding some ways to tell that get that out to the public. And also do some Union Civil War reenacting, and so I'm also into that. But yeah, the writing is right now the one thing that I'm really into right now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Will.
Okay, since Will went, I'll go. Hi, my name is JC. I'm really local. I live like 3 minutes down the street. So
Wow.
when I found out you guys were here tonight, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go.
And if you didn't come, I would have gone to get you.
I'd give you a hard time if you didn't show
I
up.
mean, I know, right? I can just walk here.
We
Well,
would have
the
gone.
pizza after this, right? Okay, let's go.
We would have gone to get him, right?
So I've actually lived here in Northwest Indiana for a vast majority of my life. From I think it was like 2 or 3 years old all the way through I am now 50. So a lot of history, a lot of things, a lot I've witnessed change and just kind of get to observe a lot of that. But I think there's a lot of influence too for the things that I kind of keep in my head for things that I want to do for like stories, making like little notes for films and whatnot that I want to do one day. But I do have in my arsenal of things that I've done. I do have a documentary that's floating around on Tubi. It's somewhere around there on Amazon Prime. It's not around here, but it was in Southern Indiana about a haunted house. Seems to be doing pretty well. As far as viewership, money, don't even fall for that. I've done a couple of short films in the area, which those are still kind of in post-production. They will get out one day, I promise. And I've also helped out as utility player on some other friends projects and other group projects and whatnot. Just kind of fill in wherever I need, because I do have a background in studio recording and studio engineering, so I understand sound and sound design. I've helped out in that area. In fact, I use those skills to help out with an annual podcasting show that I work with a very close friend of mine on called Volumes of Fear. Comes out every Halloween season, so we got some episodes coming out here real soon. But I have that background, but my love and my focus is more in doing camera work, whether it's photography or if it's doing cinematography. Those are the things I really like to enjoy doing. And the projects I have worked on, I have directed. I did produce a documentary, so I do have those experiences behind me. But really, my love, my passion is with cinematography. Doing these things, it's afforded me the opportunity to be able to attend other events outside of IFN, such as Filmscape Chicago, where you get to meet some very incredible people. Not just the vendors, who make the lights and the cameras and all the great stuff, but you also get to meet some people who are work behind the cameras. Had a good chance to attend the sessions with Jay Holman. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he was a director for many of the episodes for Dexter. He was there. He was giving a presentation on lenses. So sat in all of his lectures for lenses, and I got to meet him and talk with him for a little while. And it's pretty cool. But I try to keep my fingers in the pot, so to speak, for whatever I can. So if anybody needs anything, just reach out to me, let me know. Be happy to help out wherever I can. I am trying to keep my plate not as overflowing as I once did. So I will certainly help out with whatever I can, however I can. I'm always passionate about helping out others when it comes to making films. So, in a nutshell, that's
Well, if you can,
Thank you.
Casey, we'd like to have you come back when
Yes.
to our meetups and everything else.
It's low on his resume, but he was a past HUD leader
Right.
of this.
there's a lot of credentials. Yeah. So
NWI.
I will just
Volume of Fear is real good. I had Volume of Fear, it's real good, you
Oh,
see.
well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hello, my name is John Messler. I've been into NWI film from my 2008 time after going to college at Columbia. I started some meetup groups a long time ago. I'm one of the founders of NWI Film Group on Facebook. It's more of a forum where people used to just kind of network with each other. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. I started out doing more shooting, like DP work. And then I kind of fell more into producing, helping produce a couple of feature films and a short recently. And that's pretty much it. I'm kind of figuring out what I'm going to do next is my current project. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Young lady?
Hi everyone, my name is Erin Armstrong. I currently work in marketing and communications for Legacy Foundation here in Lake County, Indiana. But on a side note, I am an independent filmmaker, recent graduate of Calumet College of St. Joseph, majoring in English and media communications, graphic design. And I'm also too a newly selected, my documentary was selected for the Gary International Black Film Festival that will be screening next month. I did it as a student project for my senior portfolio, and it is basically diving into the minds of those who struggle with prolonged grief disorder from the child losing a parent perspective. And so subject matters of myself and 2 other young women that I do know personally. And so I'm excited to be here, to be in a space with other filmmakers and like-minded individuals. Nikki, you and I have met for work.
Yeah,
so.
I know, when you said it, it clicked, I'm like, she looks so familiar.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Legacy Foundation, I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
We're having an
I
event with
came
you
here
later
for
in
work.
the month, like, in a couple weeks, we're hosting an event here.
Yes, so it's just, good to see that we have this in the
Yeah.
community, and then just not only from work, but just as an individual and as a creative, I enjoy, what I do. So I want to learn more. I'm open to collaborations, just meeting people that I can learn from. So I'll be reaching out for a screening opportunity to for my
Absolutely.
film. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Young lady in the back.
My name is Michelle Merrick, and I'm new to everything. I do write a little bit. I was in a movie like 20 years ago with a small speaking part with Mark Spencer. I grew up here in Gary, Indiana. I live in Hobart now. I am working on a movie that I'm writing, and I just don't know where to take it next. So I need help.
I remember talking to you at the.
Yes, I was in Maryville. Yeah, Munster. was
Munster,
it.
yeah.
It was Munster.
This is a great place to learn what the
Yeah,
next step
because
is.
I want to stay
Yeah.
local. I don't want to have, like, you guys were talking, where you have to go everywhere. I'd like
Yeah.
to stay local. My focus, honestly, is Gary, Indiana, because that's where I grew up. So, I'm meeting Eve tomorrow, because I'm part of Rahab's daughter. It's
I'm
a
familiar.
nonprofit organization where we fight against human trafficking.
Mhm.
I'm also a board member for another nonprofit called the Village Ministry, where we support single parenting, and I do a little bit of prison reform. I'm part of a OSHA 30 class that they do actually, they just had a graduation in South Bend earlier this year for the graduates that took the class. So that's basically what I'm looking at to kind of help build those communities, to get back into society and stuff like that.
Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you guys.
I'll go last.
So, Nikki, based upon what everyone just, oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, we got-
So,
Oh, he's gonna skip everybody.
Hi, I'm Anthony Velasquez. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved to Miami. I graduated from IU. I worked on some films down in Miami. I did my own film project over there. Got recognition in the South Beach Film Festival. I studied also, went back to school down there at Barry University where I studied film and media. I moved back over here. Taking time from my regular work. I'm doing part-time work at the Cubs. And I started getting involved in acting. I'm working with the Green Street Studios up in Chicago, and they're doing a joint project with a production called Middletown with the Invictus Theater. So I'm doing that acting. And and I'm also currently in rehearsals for a production at the Beatniks Theater, Beatniks on Conkey in Hammond, which is called The Black Comedy by Peter Sheffer. I'm in that play, and it premieres October 16th, and love to see you guys out there. And I just learned of this because I joined the audition groups, and you guys showed up in there, and so I'm here.
It's great. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
you know what? It would have been great if he would have came here directly from Miami just to be here today.
I should have skipped that part there and moved back.
Take a look at the-
Can I have Martin give an update about the film festival we attended in Chicago and what they're
Oh,
trying to do?
okay.
They're trying to bring this up.
Before I start with my little who am I and what do I do, I just want to say thank you all for being here. And this room is, it showcases the talent of NWI. Everybody does something different, some different aspect of filmmaking. And this is what we're trying to cultivate. This is what we're trying to bring together. This is what we're trying to grow the community here and do the filmmaking and more creativity here in Northwest Indiana. And on that note, Ms. Gomez and I, also I'm the co-hub leader of the IFN NWI. We had represented IFN NWI at the True Chicago Film Festival that just recently happened in July. What that was hosted by the Sundance Film Festival, which everybody knows is in Utah. So the idea there was they were looking for a new place to have because basically the Sundance Film Festival is not going to be, well, right now, they were looking for another home to hold the film festival, and Chicago was one of those options. The update on that is that Chicago is no longer in the running. So it's either, from the last I heard, was Atlanta, Nashville, I believe, and I have to look it up. So I'll stop right there with that because I don't want to give the wrong information. And for me personally, I am a writer. I have done a little bit of media. I did a show for 3 years that was filmed in Chicago. It was local Chicago. It was oh my God, it was a while ago. Crime Stoppers Case Files Chicago. I was there for 3 years. I was I wasn't one of the cases. I was the casting director. I was the casting director there for 3 years. The show did go on for 6 years, but things happen. So I was only there for 3 years. And then so I decided that I wanted to create my own thing. So currently what I do is I do have a small publication, a small media outlet that I focus on art and the artists. And when I started that it's been 10 years now. When I started that in 2014, it's called the Original Domain, Original Art and Entertainment. Originally when I started that, I focused on local art. I wanted to start small. But the views weren't there, so I said, okay, I know I have, resources in other places. So I started to focus on entertainment art, which is now I do movie trailers. I promote the movie trailers from large studios. I do some interviews with artists that are national artists, from country singers to, and these are new country singers that are coming out. It's Latin and English, both of that. And so far, like on my social media, I've had over 5 million views, so that's really awesome. And from going from 5 views to 50 views to now over 5 million views, that is huge. But I will be honest, it didn't happen overnight. It took a while. And so we were talking earlier about this too, and like Nathan says, we do have to go to other places as well. We want to bring this here to NWI because there's so much talent here. And with social media and technology, we can be remote now. But I do have connections with like the different film festivals and things like that. And I have done, I've gone to the CMA Fest, which was amazing. And then I do a little bit of red carpet type of interviews as well. And I have a podcast that I do. It's on YouTube, Facebook, and I just joined Twitter. So there's only like 5 people there. But that's what I do. That's me.
Nikki?
Yes. Keep going?
I mean,
Okay.
so,
Yeah, so
anything else that you'd like to present to our?
your
I
question?
do have a question. You was talking about housing before.
Yeah.
So say, like, I have like actors coming in.
Yeah.
Would that be for like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, you would contact us if you have a group of people coming in, and typically the hotel will have like a minimum, like we need at least 10 rooms booked or something, but if you have a larger group coming in, that's probably 10 plus. You would call us and we could get like housing set up for you through our housing department. That would be us negotiating with the hotels, a rate for you, and then we would get everything set up, and then you would just have to email a link to whoever who is traveling into the area, and they would just book directly through that link. So it just kind of takes them having to like, where am I gonna stay? Like, we just kind of do all of that behind the scenes. They have all of the information. We book a hotel who's one of our partners, who's tried and true, and then they get like, we'll give them like welcome backs to come to the area, coupons to go eat at some of our partner restaurants, just kind of like the hospitality kind of behind that.
So would they all be staying at the same house, like an Airbnb or?
No, it's hotel, so we would be like one of our hotel partners.
Okay.
We do work with Visit, like Miller Beach, which has some Airbnbs over there, so we do, but primarily for room blocks. Airbnbs don't offer that, they're mostly owned independently by, you know, like someone who has a second house and they're renting that out. So all of our room blocks are done through our hotel partners. We do a lot with across the street, Home 2. We have partners all throughout Lake Porter and LaPorte counties when it comes to hoteliers.
Awesome, thank you.
So it was really interesting to hear like what a mixed group it is here. I really had no idea like what to expect, like none at all. I don't have any. The only film experience I have is what I told you about when working with New Black Entertainment when they came and said we want to do this. And we made it happen, so that's a positive. So I have something going on this new venture when it comes to working with you guys. But it was just really cool to see like how different you all are and how different all of your areas are. Some are doing documentaries, some are writing. So, I mean, so it's a really good mix of people. And when you have like a bunch of different people like this, all with that same kind of interest and that same umbrella, but you're all like little different parts, it really makes for a great group because the amount of things that you guys are going to be able to learn from each other and network, I mean, that just grows exponentially when you have such an eclectic mix of different talents and different areas of interest. So we're really excited at the South Shore to help facilitate this here in Northwest Indiana, and I am probably one of the most honest, blunt persons that I know, and I'm going to be the first to say it's not going to happen overnight. So I don't want everybody to leave here and be like, yes, the South Shore is going to do this and this and this, that's going to be fantastic. It's a work in progress, as you guys know. You guys are in this industry and you know, I mean any industry, it doesn't even have to be filmmaking, it's whenever you're trying to get something off of the ground. But I do think that this is important. I do think it holds a place in what we're doing, especially the work, you know, you talking with all of the other tourism bureaus that you do work with. This is a function. I will be reaching out to some of those, so some that you've worked with, I'd like to get with you after, get those names and kind of reach out to them too to see how they facilitated this type of thing. But like I said, my first thing is we are meeting with all of our cities and towns on everything tourism related, but this has been added to the topic of conversation in that talk on what people need to do just as far as like that permitting goes. And then for the building, Barton does have the rental contract. I sent him, it has all of the information. He can share that with your group via email. Again, even if you're part of this group, even if it's something personal that you're doing, like you want to show your documentary, you do qualify for those reduced rates on there, and we can like work with you to market. So that's another thing we kind of do since we are a marketing bureau. We do a lot of like kind of in-kind stuff, so like when you do, and you're a graphic designer and you do all of that kind of stuff anyway, so you probably wouldn't need us to design a flyer and get it out there for you, but those services do exist here. So, you know, we do work with the Black Film Festival. I know with, we do a lot of their marketing. They do a bigger event in the spring, summer, don't they do another one?
I think it's February.
Huh?
The last one
Is
was
it
February, I think,
That's
yeah.
another one.
February, we do their marketing,
Yeah.
actually. So we do have that service as well. So you have like something coming up, or you know, something that you're working on and you need help maybe designing a flyer, you need help getting it out there, like we can help with that as well. Get that flyer designed for you and like shoot that out on all of our stuff too to our partners, so.
Can you talk about, because I'm sure that when we have our meetings or our events here, we gotta have food and drinks.
Yes.
Is that allowed? Let everybody know.
So yeah, kind of, not really. So it is.
Oops,
So it is.
hide our
Obviously,
stuff.
They do that in the lobby. We're all
Yeah.
adults here. Like we do a lot of field trips in this room too. So it's technically there's like no eating in the theater. We're hosting an event with the Film Museum next week, and that was a question that they asked, and they're like, and I was like, well, we're all adults. Like, well, we don't allow it in our theater, so we're not going to allow it in yours. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I mean, it's okay. So typically, what we would do is we would have high boy tables set up in the lobby area where you guys walked in. Put a table up there that everybody kind of does a little bit of networking. You know what I mean? Maybe the first 15 minutes, everybody's grabbing a little bite, networking, and then coming in for the meeting, or ending, you know, with that same thing. We do offer catering and that sort of stuff as well. We could have food here for you. You would like, you would just get with us and then we would have that here for you. We have couple different caterers we work with. One is right across the street, it's By the Way Brewing, they are fabulous. But yeah, you guys can also bring your own stuff in, or if you wanted something set up, like you could just let us know. We are the hospitality industry, and Kristen Taylor, she is our Chief of Events and Facilities here, and she's absolutely fantastic. She's the most hospitable person I know, and she makes everything fabulous. So whatever it is you guys are looking for as far as the space is concerned, whether it's food, whatever, we'll be happy to accommodate those situations, whatever they may be.
And drinks, are drinks allowed in here?
Yes, drinks are allowed
Okay,
here.
there you go, you all wanted to know.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
drinks are allowed in here, yes. And then we
Well, like
also
alcoholic.
hold a liquor license,
Yeah.
like for events like that. I mean, if you do host an event here, we do have a liquor license, so we do
Okay.
bar, we have full bar, all of that good stuff too, so. Yes.
I have a question. So if you all did open the facility for a film screening, what would be the recommended days and times? Like, I know that you guys operate during certain hours, so.
We do, so that is negotiable, like we'll work with whatever, but there are additional rates for after-hours events. It is $100 an hour for anything that is after hours in addition, because it's not part of our daily and we have to pay the staff and the cleaning to come here. It would be $50 for a nonprofit, so that rate is also reduced. But we do offer, it's really whatever works for you. I mean, we close the building, our winter hours, we close at 5, we're just starting to close at 5 now instead of 6, so after people get off work, I mean, 5 o'clock, you might need a later event, so we are willing to accommodate, although there would be an extra charge just so we can cover our costs.
Are you open on Saturdays?
We're open 7 days a week.
Saturdays
Yeah.
are open.
Yep, we are open 7 days a week. Yes.
I don't know if I heard right, but you mentioned there was another theater room, is it like this one?
Not a theater, it's our exhibit hall. We actually have a exhibit in there now. It's the County Met Heritage partnership that we have. It's actually a fabulous exhibit. It actually just came fresh off the run at the Field Museum, which is so exciting. So we have a great partnership with the Field Museum right now, which I'm very, very excited about. But that tells the story of the region. It focuses on the industry, what built us, which is the steel mills. There's a great section on the steel mills. On the culture here, we are a cultural mixing pot with ethnicities and different races. And it just tells the story of who we are. And then also the biodiversity. We are one of the most biodiverse regions when it comes to plant life and wildlife. So that exhibit really kind of ties all of those three things together and kind of talks about who we are as a people. That will be here until October 7th. And we're going to be having a joint event with Legacy Foundation. The wall that you see when you walk onto the theater on your right. We also salute to South Shore Legends. So it's a program. We want to recognize people from the region, from Northern Indiana, who did fantastic things. So we partner with the Legacy Foundation and also BP to recognize those people. We just selected our newest legend, and they will be unveiled October 3rd. So we do a lot of different kind of things here, but great partnership with Legacy Foundation. Partnerships are really important when it comes to what we do. So I'm glad to, kind of start this partnership with the film crew to see where this goes. It's a really exciting thing.
And there are 2 screens over there, right?
Yeah, so there are. So yeah, sorry, back to the exhibit hall. I got on a tangent on how fabulous the exhibit is. So yes, a huge exhibit hall. We do rent that out for events. There are 2 large screens that come down with projectors. They work-ish, so we are in the process of updating. We're doing a lot of capital improvements to our building. The building's 25 years old, it's an old building, so part of that is some new AV equipment. So if there's a potential for a bigger event, so the theater seats 107. So if there's something that you would need a larger space for, not currently, but in the next year or so, we'll have some updated equipment in there to do larger type events if you need the projectors for screenings and that type of thing.
Nikki, are you gonna go through the tour?
I can give you a tour, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So, anything else? Otherwise, so that maybe we can,
Yeah, if you guys don't have any questions,
I
yeah.
have something I wanted to say. So since, one of the things about the Visit Indiana campaign, you brought that up, or what came up for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, or who knows this, so this campaign, the In Indiana campaign was developed in Valparaiso at We Create Media. Indiana Filmmakers Network.
Great. I had a meeting with Wade today.
Did you
I
really?
did, yes.
I was literally in Valparaiso earlier. So I didn't get to go in there, though. Designing desserts, though.
I stopped there too, got the peanut butter brownie. Like, we're on the same wavelength here.
Good people, right there. Anyway, so we were one of the 6 non-for-profits that got the beta for that. For years, the Indiana Filmmakers Network, we did a thing called Film in Indiana to encourage like a logoing or Hoosier Made. We did indie shorts festival for like 6 years. We did Hoosier Homegrown festivals and stuff as well, many years ago. Or at least partnered with them. And so we came up with a program in 2011 to show Hoosier Solidarity. And it went fine for a while, and then we kind of sat back, we reformatted all what we were doing statewide and did nonprofit thing, blah, blah, blah. And then we were launching for 2020 with tourism. This is kind of the new thing that they're gonna launch afterwards. Well, it didn't quite go the way we would like it to go. But in tandem with this program, we relaunched Film in Indiana. We would have liked to have done it with the state,
Right.
because that was what we were working on for like 6 years to try to do. But when Film Indiana moved over to IEDC, things changed. So this is Film in Indiana. I do have a large banner, a whole bunch of stuff for that. For those of you who are working on projects currently right now, or have older projects that you might be able to put this on, we're encouraging it to show. It's like when you watch a movie made in Georgia, right? When they show solidarity through tourism. We haven't had that logoing since 2006 when we had a film commission. And I actually have that logoing at home, that animated logoing I own, which is messed up. But what we were trying to do is just to show Hoosier solidarity with Indiana filmmakers and video makers and media makers. So it is anyone from making a documentary to a music video to an iPhone video in their backyard, as long as they put it on their credits or put it in their website or someplace, be small. We have different kinds of formatting for the logoing, free to download, and it's available for everybody. And the website will be up by the end of the month, but we're taking in beta now to list them as actual teammates to promote. So if anybody's here is interested in that, I will email you all the information to find a logoing that works best for you. It is in tandem with Indiana, and
You see this now, drive it.
I
It's
love
coming
it.
in.
The only thing about the Indiana push I don't like is the stoic signs coming in the States.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I don't like.
yeah.
Every other way it's used is amazing, but that is the only thing. That's my only criticism on the whole thing. Because I don't mind in the bold,
Yeah.
but that's a hard push. A little known fact, I guess, I'm also the American film market rep for Indiana, have been for 14 years, but I've been doing it on my own time with very little help, no help from the state. Besides, in the past, pre-COVID, I would go down and meet with Film Indiana and Film Indy. They give me information of what's going on that I could share when I did go out there, if I did.
Sure.
Because a lot of times you do online or whatever. Last year I went to Santa Monica. This year's in Vegas. I am not going. I'm doing online programming. Last year we actually had representation from Film Indy that was there. It was the first time the state sent some people there from economic development. What's crazy is that I was sitting on Saturday night where all the states have their little umbrellas and all their stuff, and they have reps from all the states. They weren't there, and I don't know why.
Really?
But they were there, but they just weren't at the important ones. Because I don't talk about distribution and why you should come here and film, because
Right.
sadly, we don't have the infrastructure for bringing film like that here.
Sure.
Yeah.
We need to build that.
Right.
We need to do that. My goal for IFN has always been maybe a studio structure, but also to get financing through small business and other agencies to encourage, like Only Believe Studios and such, to grow them. The people that are actively doing it, boutique studios, and students that are leaving after learning here, that they can stay here and actually work in a market and
get
grow.
that experience,
Get experience and stuff.
Nathan,
So,
very quickly, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but very quickly, can you talk about, because I don't know if Nikki, we didn't have a chance to talk about this, but can you talk about the Indiana tax credit, the new tax credit?
So,
Very quickly.
So Indiana Filmmakers Network, years ago, we helped sponsor the Indiana Media Production Alliance, which was an initiative to get new tax incentives, because we really didn't have anything.
Okay.
So that's viable. In 2016, there was a push for that. We were hoping to get it. It didn't quite go through. So we were just going to try to get it. With the Republican push on the last, coming out of COVID, it got dog-eared in
Okay.
through economic development. So everything that was part of tourism kind of moved over, and I don't know exactly, so I can't speak on what they're doing. I ask them all the time. They're not returning those calls.
They're not.
When Angelo Pizzo, who's your Rudy's, doesn't get a reply, they've got problems. Let's just put it that way. So he waited 5 months to try to get a film here in Indiana, went to Louisville and got it done in 4 days. So
Yeah.
you know that the government's missing out on something, and you can quote me on that. Hopefully they are doing something. I'm not gonna knock them, I don't know all of what they're doing. So, and the people at Film Indy, I like them, I like working with them. They really focus on Indianapolis. But they
Yeah.
are helpful as well, so they, like Home and Garden stuff, things across the state in Fort Wayne, and they've helped. Columbus Film, when Columbus came to film in Columbus, Indiana, the Indianapolis market helped. So that's a resource I was, actually, that's our guest speaker for the Indianapolis meeting, in the
Okay.
last Tuesday of the month for our Indianapolis hub.